Hello everyone and welcome back to Breaking Bread, Birmingham-based food podcast with me, Liam, and Carlos.
Alright, how are we doing?
Nice sunny Saturday.
Sunny.
We should be
Got the
happy.
little one playing in the garden, so if you can hear someone shouting in the background, that's my daughter.
There was an ice cream van in our last intro.
I know, yeah.
It was quite funny. Maybe feels like a weird time again on the verge of
another lockdown.
They were announced yesterday evening. We record this Saturday morning. This is released Monday, and
So this is Saturday. What's the date today?
Tuesday it's coming.
We're on the 12th of September now. Do you understand it? I don't
Nobody
understand it.
understands it.
You
Feels a
mix
bit
some of the
weird.
houses, in houses, outside of a house, in a bar. I don't fucking know.
Yet again, I feel a bit sorry for restaurants and stuff because they must be panicking. They must be thinking,
Of course they are, yeah.
the inevitable is
What
going
are we
to come again.
supposed to do? We don't know. They're not going to know.
We're off to Crate tonight, 670 grams.
Yes, cannot wait.
I was so relieved, selfishly, I was really relieved that we weren't locked down yesterday evening. You know, sometimes they have a habit that now the government, 12 o'clock,
okay.
12 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
So I was like, please don't take 670 grams off us. We need to go there.
Problem is, town will be rammed tonight because everyone will be like, well, if this is a proper lockdown, I've got to make the most of it. So this weekend, everyone will be going absolutely nuts.
Probably the headline in the Daily Mail, and it's Super Saturday again.
Yeah, it will be, yeah. It's quite encouraging people to fucking go out.
Yeah, so weird times again. We've got this episode, we've got a couple more episodes recorded anyway. After that, who knows?
Might be a mid-season
Might
break.
be a mid-season break. Yeah, unfortunately.
Annoying how much work I've put into getting things lined up. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it's one of them.
But it's what it is.
As I said, we've got a couple recorded and there's a few exciting things coming up if they go ahead, but we'll tell you about them anyway, and if they don't go ahead,
Then well,
keep
you
an
won't
eye
hear
out.
them, will you?
Yeah, so
They'll still be in the pipeline. They'll be
still
just
be in the
moved to another date.
So we got, obviously this Tuesday we're off to have a little look at Laggy's, the good people behind Laggy. You know Laggy is one of our favourite Italian, well my favourite Italian. You've never been.
No, I've never.
The only Italian I really love going to.
Yeah, and they're opening a new place up at Millennium Point.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it's going to be. I think it's kind of a relaxed kind of deal. Well, obviously Laggy's is relaxed. It's not.
Well, we'll see if it's still going ahead, but if it does, I mean, the opening will still be going ahead. And what's it called again?
Molino.
Molino.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Molino.
it's pizzas, Italian food.
Just relaxed. We said it was a Millennium Point, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think they're opening up Millennium Point to films and stuff again. I'm sure I said that. So
It's going to be a buzzing spot, to be honest. If you can get in there now, providing HS2 does go through, and it probably is now, then that spot's going to be a massive area in Birmingham.
there's not many places
Like,
to
it's
eat
gonna be
right
an
now.
area.
Isn't it?
And that's what I mean. Like, it's a good time to be buying stuff and opening stuff there, I reckon, because eventually it's going to be heaving around there. It's going to be like how we talk about Digbeth, now we talk about this, now we talk about like Jewelry Quarter.
Yeah.
Eventually we'll be talking about Millennium
East Side,
Point.
isn't it? East Side, that's
Yeah,
called it. East
Side Project.
Yeah, it's good.
But it'll end up being just Millennium Point. That makes the most sense, doesn't it?
So looking forward to seeing what the good people at Laggy's do with that place. I think it'd be great.
Yes, that'll be cool. I'm looking forward to that.
What else did we say is coming up? There's seasonal festivals. I got one of theirs on. It's barbecue fest
Barbecue Fest, yeah, on the 10th and 11th,
10th and 11th.
of October.
of October. That is
Yeah, Bong
barbecue
Company,
fest.
Barbecue Fest. You got Dick Smokehouse Urban Barbecue,
Two of the
Street
best.
Savaki. You've got one coming up from London, but I forget the name of it.
Professionals we are.
No, you can tell we're on the ball. Saturday morning, mate. What do you-
All you need is Dick's Smokehouse and Urban Barbecue. You know what I mean? Tickets still available for that. It's tables only. Obviously, there's none of this standing and crowding around. It's all table.
Yeah, man.
So,
I love what they do. I can't believe the Burger Festival didn't happen this year. I
that
love
was
that
a
last
massive
year.
highlight from last year. That was.
It was a highlight watching you eat 3 burgers.
I don't think I could eat again for about 2 days after that. I was so
I had 2
full.
burgers and a takeaway on the night though, so I can't say too much.
What else did we say was opening? Something else cool coming
Quinn's
up? Oh yeah,
is properly open now.
Yeah,
DJ
Quinn's,
Quinn's with their smoked barbecue food.
yeah. We went down and tried it actually. Anyone who don't know where it is, it's like on the border of Yarleywood, Hall Green, right opposite Yarleywood train station. train goes straight into town, so hop on the train from town. No excuses. But it's not somewhere that's ever done food really before. Not to any kind of decent level. Just a local boozer, and it's got nice owners, and they've got a really good chef in there now. I mean, a few people probably know him from around the city. He's done a few other projects, like Mockingbird and bits and pieces like that. But he used to do street food. That was smoked street food. So you could definitely tell he knows what he's doing. We went there last week, I think.
Yeah, we tried a bit of everything. It was great.
It was literally called a bit of everything.
Yeah.
It was like a tray, just a tray of meat. It was.
I really liked it. I thought the food was really good.
Half rack of ribs, brisket.
I mean, we say half rack. I mean, this half isn't just a half rack. They're huge.
Mate, literally the next day I couldn't eat. I was that full. I'd ate so much meat. I was just the pork belly bites. They were unbelievable. Barbecue sauce, fries were nice, crispy fries. It was all really good food. Like you can sometimes with smoked food it can be over. If they know what they're doing. You get like a horrible ashy kind of burnt smoked. This was just a nice mellowness to it. It was beautiful.
Yeah, he'd done a good job, to be honest. It was good.
Hot link was brilliant.
Yeah, I told you I got my grinder now and sausage maker. I'm going to make my own hot link soon.
Yeah, so I think it's still bookings, but they got the whole back room there as a kind of like restaurant area. It's really nice. Definitely recommend taking a look.
It's worth a go, you know what I mean? If you just fancy something a bit different, and you're not too fussed about this, or
put the football on.
I liken it to go into like a desi pub, where you go into just some Raffle pub that does great food. Yeah. Except this time it's not Indian food, it's smoked barbecue food.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I like it.
Worth a go. I'd go again.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's walking distance from my house.
Yeah, you can see it from your front door.
Yeah.
Other than that, we went to Covered Wagon the other night as well.
Covered Wagon.
Again, that's another podcast that we've got them lined up. That might have to be postponed yet. We'll see.
See how that goes. Big love for the Covered Wagon.
As always,
We're recording the podcast this Monday, and obviously we're meant to be talking about number 8. Is it called? I think it's just called 8, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called 8. Yeah, so we're recording
number 8.
This Monday.
Too cool for the number.
Unless that gets cancelled, because you don't know, do you?
I doubt it. We'll see. What an exciting kind of little project, though.
I know. Yeah, we'll talk about it a lot more, obviously, on the project. But yeah, that opens 8th of October. That's opening up in Bradford up by the Hippodrome, not Hippodrome, the ICC.
Yeah, it's in kind of by Symphony Hall, isn't it? Yeah, ICC.
But
Symphony Hall.
So people might want to know what this podcast is all about.
Oh, today, yeah?
Yeah, this one.
This one's
very lucky to get an interview with the lovely Angelina from Tutto, Apposto.
I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, I might have said it wrong, to be honest.
I butchered that. I did. She said it so like elegantly.
I know, yeah.
She made it sound like,
You're going to hear in a minute how to say it properly. She says it. You get to find out what it means and everything as well. But yeah, it was a great chat, wasn't it? We did it at Roberto's bar again.
Yeah, massive respect for Roberto and his bar, man.
Roberto's. Big fan. Great bar, great service.
Yeah, it's been a weird week, obviously with everything that happened in Birmingham last week and all the negativity that was in the news and bozos from all over the place just jumping on Birmingham trying to say how rubbish it was, and then it made me a bit annoyed all week, to be honest. And then you think about this podcast and we've got something really positive and somebody doing something great.
Story about something going wrong and then just changing your life plan, and you end up doing something maybe not better, but maybe just as good.
She's only a young girl. She's done so well. You think about what she's been through. I mean, it was her dream to be a chef. She got there. It didn't work out for her for no fault of her own. And instead of sitting there, and then Corona come along, COVID came along, so she had reason to just sit and be really annoyed at the world. But she didn't. She just ploughed on. She's full of positivity, and I thought it was brilliant. I loved chatting to her, and I can't wait. Well, she gave us a few cakes. They were really nice, weren't they?
The Instagram of the wedding cake she did recently.
Yeah, really. She's talented, man. Really talented, and
it's a great podcast, great talk.
Yeah, and I want that Angelina. I haven't seen anybody say, that just listening back while I was editing it, listening to a talk about them, I haven't seen it. It's like, yes, I want some of that. Yeah, awesome conversation, and hope you all enjoy. I mean, we're already recording, so
yeah, recording. Yeah, this is
Easy
starting.
into it.
Everything you've said now, it's going in.
Angelina, welcome to Breaking Bread. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? Thanks for having me.
No, awesome. Thanks for coming on. I mean, it means a lot for us to get kind of young, fresh talent onto the show and share your story with the people of Birmingham.
Oh, good.
I think we'll probably start where we kind of always start is that skateboard, as you can hear in the background. Have you always been into food? Like, has food always been your thing?
Yeah, 100%. Like, my family are Sicilian, so food has always been the centre of every table, of every conversation. And my nonna pretty much taught me everything I know and how to cook. So yeah, it's always been the centre of my life, food.
Awesome. Yeah, nice.
What kind of food was it?
Italian food, but always a plate of pasta, always antipasti. You always get a meat course, and then pudding, and then cheese. Like, you can't just pop round for a sandwich because it's never one course, or it's never just a cup of tea. So yeah, it's always just an absolute feast.
I get the feeling we don't really eat Italian food properly in England.
No, I always think this.
Even
They
when I
get
go to-
loads of courses.
Yeah, when I go to Laggies, I like everyone. We all seem to order like just one, either a steak or either pasta or either pizza. Whereas
Yeah,
I
my
feel
nan
like-
would be
yeah.
absolutely horrified at that.
How's it meant to go? Is it?
So, antipasti normally. So you normally get cold meats, melon with prosciutto, bruschetta, normally a prawn salad or something like that. Then you might get minestrone in the winter or a plate of pasta. And then you get chicken, ratatouille, tomato sauce, potatoes.
It's all kind of
Oof.
put in the middle and everyone helps themselves.
Yeah, you just go
big
for it
share,
and you get in there quick before your uncle does.
Yeah, that's my kind of food. That is. I love that, and I love that's how it's meant to be as well. Like, I feel like someone should do that in Birmingham, like properly.
Yeah,
Although Laggies is pretty good. I would
Laggies is
say.
awesome.
Laggies.
Yeah.
But I always do a test with Italian because a lot of places, I love carbonara, but I love proper carbonara.
Yeah.
So if I look at the menu and if it says carbonara and it has double cream in it, then I'm
stay
like,
away.
nah, forget
Walk
that.
away.
I'm not having that. It's like people are scared that you're going to sue them for like giving you like half raw egg yolks, and I'm like, that's
Yeah.
the best bit.
Yeah, it's the
That's
best
the
bit.
sauce.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
I went to a place in Italy and they literally, you sat down at the table and it was such a cluttered restaurant. And I was looking at my dad being like, where have you brought me? And literally they just started bringing food to the table and you hadn't ordered it, you hadn't asked for it. But it was like, no, you will eat this and it is good. And then they brought over the best tiramisu I've ever had in my life. And it
Love
was
tiramisu.
raw egg central, but it was unreal.
Meal times are a bit longer, like
Yeah.
not like a plate in front of you, smash it down, 20 minutes at the most. get
Yeah.
out, like,
I always
it's-
find in Birmingham, the meal is almost like the start of the night. So you go for a meal and then you go out. But in
you get it out
Italy,
the way, like.
it is where you're going. It is your event.
That's how we roll, though, innit? If we book something, we book it like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I
Yeah.
intend to stay there until I get thrown out of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Then.
100%.
It's not like the Irish kind of culture. We have obviously not as many dishes, but we'll have like a big stew or big hearty dish, and then everyone, the whole table helps herself, and it's
Yeah.
it's an event. Like, you look forward to it all week. Oh, you're gonna go round my in-laws for family dinner. You know. That's
Yeah. And
same-
you know someone's worked so hard at it and pretty much worked all morning
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. So was it at that moment you kind of knew you were going to go into being a chef?
Yeah, I mean, I went through school, did my GCSEs, and then all my teachers were like, oh, so you're going to do your A-levels then, you're going to go to uni? And I was like, no, I'm not.
No, thanks.
Like, I went to college and I did my professional cookery course, and that was so cool. And then as soon as I was 16, I just got a job in like a beat-up burger town in the middle of Birmingham, which was really cool.
How did your parents feel about that?
At first, they were like, what is she doing? But then they just saw that it was a burger, but it was the best burger. And I just loved it.
Where was that? Was that in Birmingham?
Yeah, it was in the mailbox. It was actually at Penny Black's. That's where it all started, really.
Yeah, I remember Penny Blacks.
Yeah.
I went-
Yeah.
It's still there, Penny Blacks.
I don't. Is it?
I don't know.
It is, yeah. I don't know if it's called Penny Blacks anymore. It's still there as a place.
We went there for
not
21st
too long ago.
meal, and it was really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
See, now we're going to look like fools on this podcast. We're supposed to be experts.
Yeah, anyone who's listening knows that we're definitely not experts. Like, we're definitely chances. Like,
to be fair, other than the cinema there, that's not usually where we'd go out there. To be fair,
Mailbox.
Yeah. Or Broad Street.
Yeah.
Or the Arcadian.
It's pretty chain heavy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really A-Lane, a lot of Birmingham now.
From Penny Blacks, actually, I went on to work at Harvey Nichols, which is in the Mailbox. But that was such a cool experience. And Mark Walsh.
I was just about to say, was Mark Walsh there?
Yeah, he was my head chef, and it was actually him that made me. I hated pastry, and it was actually him that forced me onto this section. And I was like, Mark, I just want to cook steaks, so I couldn't leave me alone. But he forced me on there, like, let me write afternoon tea menus and stuff like that. And it was such a cool place to work.
Yeah.
I think that's an old school chef thing to do, isn't it? They force people onto the pastry first.
Yeah.
I think it's because they don't want to do it themselves.
They can't be asked.
To be fair.
Luke was saying the same when he went to Norwich. I can't remember where he started, but Luke Butcher from Pinellas.
Yeah.
They said the first thing they did was just pushed him into the pastry room and said, "Get good at that."
Yeah. And
It's
then
good though. It gives you an appreciation, I suppose, for all the skills in the kitchen.
Yeah, if you can make
completely different.
If you can make your way around a kitchen, you're pretty much there. But I remember Mark Walsh giving me Marco Pierre White cookbook, and I was like flicking through it, being like, "This is so cool." And then stopped on the page. It was like peach Melba, and I was like, "Teach me how to make that." And I pretty much remember a Sunday, and it was really quiet, and he was like, "We're gonna make this or what then?" Yeah. And it was so good, and I think that's what made me go, "Oh, maybe I should dabble into pastry a little bit."
A lot of people, somebody quite famous was saying that their main aim in life was to recreate that peach Melba from Marco Pierre.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was now.
Yeah.
It was on Twitter that said it, but that's quite interesting because when we had Mark on the podcast, I'd said to him, like, what one book would you give to any young chefs? And he said Marco Pierre White. Definitely. Like, so at least he wasn't lying.
Definitely not.
Not that he strikes me as a liar.
Sorry, Mark.
So how long were you at Harvey Nicks?
About 2.5 years.
Cool.
And then his best mate from college worked in a little country restaurant in Yorkshire. And I said to Mark, I'm going to go there for work experience. And he was like, "Oh, God, you won't come back." And I was like, I will, I'll come back. And I did work experience. I was like, "Mark, I'm not coming back." So he's like, "I've literally lost you to one of my best mates. Are you joking?" But I worked there, and it was a 20-cover restaurant.
Whereabouts was it, sorry?
In Yorkshire,
in
the city centre. And Adam Jackson, the head chef there, was amazing. And we did 20 people max tasting menu, but literally whatever we wanted on the day, whatever was good,
awesome.
it was just good.
Proper freedom to do what you want and express yourself.
Did you eat at Scotia while you were there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I love Scotia.
So
Amazing.
jealous of this place, man.
The best place in York, if you haven't gone, I would say Pairings. It's a wine and cheese bar, but they do it so well.
Yeah, now you're
So
talking.
well. Yeah.
I'm
It's
sold.
good.
That's the sound of Carl booking a train ticket to York. And then from, how long did you stay in York?
About just over a year. And then I wouldn't say young, it was only like 3-4 years ago, but I was really missing home. And so I came back to Birmingham and did like an evening with Louise Ellis at the boat. And she texted me being like, "Can you help me out?" Whatever. So I came back to Birmingham and I did it there.
Did you already know her from somewhere else?
Yeah, so she did like a takeover at Harvey Nichols with the Wilderness. And then we just become like good friends from there. And then she did a Louise Ellis versus Leo off the back of MasterChef at the boat.
Yeah.
So we were there and it was good. And then Leo was like, "So you coming to work at Simpsons then?" I was like, "No, Leo, like I'm in York." And he was just like, "No, you come in." And I remember my dad picking me up that evening from the boat, and he came out to my dad and was like, "She's got a job at Simpsons, tell her to leave, tell her to leave." And I was like, "You've literally just blackmailed me into a job."
You got to go then, haven't you?
But I am so glad
Your man
I
knows
took
you can
him
get a
up.
job in Birmingham.
But you're kind of half ready to come back anyway.
Yeah, I was debating it, and like messaged Leo before, and I'd seen the food, and it was my head chef in York was just like, if you were to go back to Birmingham from here, where would you work? And I was like, Simpsons, but it's never going to happen. Like, I'm not ready for a Michelin star kitchen.
No. Was that the debate you were having in your head?
Yeah.
Was that the bit that you weren't sure of?
Yeah, I just didn't think I'd cope or was good enough. And then when Leo was like, oh, you've got a job, I was like, no way.
Simpsons is different class, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
a whole new level. Like,
Well, as we keep saying, like everyone in Birmingham that's good has pretty much come through them doors.
Yeah, I honestly feel like the amount of restaurants that are open and you get there, oh, he worked at Simpsons, he was trained at Simpsons, and it is such a good place to work, and Luke Tippin is probably the best people I've ever worked for.
Really?
he definitely paid you to say that.
Yeah, cheers, Luke.
Yeah, but then we go and say he's like one of the best guests we've ever had as well.
Yeah, that's true.
He definitely
It's
paid
so
me to
nice.
say.
No, I mean, it's testament to Luke, isn't it? The amount of chefs that have come out of
Yeah.
Simpsons. So you must have kind of felt like you kind of made it, like when you got to Simpsons. What did you start as? What was your role? Or
Literally a commie, probably not even that, but I started off on the larder and got trained on there, was working on there, and I did find it so hard.
Really?
And I said to Leo so many times, like, oh, I can't do this, and he was just like, you can, just keep going with you. Just so
The hours like a lot different to what you were doing before.
yeah, in York I started at 11 and finished at 11:30. At Simpsons it's like
Living the
8:30 and finished at like 1, 2.
Wow.
But no, it wasn't that bad. But yeah, so started off on the larder and then trained my way up, and then one morning Luke was like, oh, she's going on the veg today, and I literally shaked most of my time for about the first 6 months, and then almost like found my feet, and it was really good, and then finished up on the meat and fish, which was good.
yeah, sounds awesome. What was your first day like at Simpsons?
Horrific. As
You
in,
looked at me
like,
then as if to say, "Is Luke told you to ask me this?"
I remember getting told to do like the easiest and simplest of jobs, and it was literally go and vat pack these tomatoes. We're going to ferment them so we can use them in the winter. And I was just like, okay, sound. Went down, exploded the vat pack machine. There was tomatoes everywhere, and I was my heart was beating so fast. And Luke Tippin walked down behind me, and I was like, oh my god, chef, I'm so sorry. And he just grabbed my shoulder, and I was like, please don't give me my P45 already. And he was like, it's fine.
The belief that Luke and Leo especially had in you kind of give you the confidence to keep going, push on.
Yeah, 100%. And I think in that environment, when you're working around chefs that are unreal and so talented, you do have days where you're like, I can't do this, I can't keep up. But Leo and Luke just keep pushing you, really.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine it like working there.
Yeah.
You said it sounds simple, like simple task. Just put the tomatoes in the vat. I couldn't use a vat machine.
Well, I
Sounds terrifying
couldn't
to
either,
me.
could I?
Sounds terrifying to me. Did you have a favourite dish while you were working Simpsons?
Yeah, we did turbot with courgette's like my favourite vegetable in the world.
Yeah, it's great,
But we did courgette puree, fresh courgettes, confit tomatoes. The confit tomatoes that they do at Simpsons are ridiculous. We use quarter pigeons from France, and they're amazing. But that was such a good dish, and that was on in the summer, so I almost like held out for that. I was like, chef, are we putting this back on?
You probably only pull it back on just to keep you quiet, save you asking. Like.
Oh, Angie's gonna kick off again.
Was it fair to say it was like a dream job?
100%.
I don't know how much you're going to want to talk about this, but obviously you're not at Simpsons anymore.
Yeah.
Did something happen?
So at Simpsons, I was training to do BCF Young Chef of the Year, and whilst I was doing that competition and training, I honestly do not know what happened to me, but I went into work one morning and there's literally 2 steps into the kitchen. They're tiny steps, and I couldn't walk them, and I just broke down into tears. And I remember having so much prep to do that morning as well. There was fish and meat everywhere, and I looked at Leo and I was like, I can't do this. I went to the hospital and they told me I had 2 slip discs in my back. So Luke and Chef were like, oh, do you still want to do this competition? And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I remember like the award evening when I went, I was like, if they even call me up for even runner-up right now, I will not be able to get out of this chair. So it was a good job they didn't. But I carried on working, and it was all in place for me to go to the French Laundry in America. I was going to do 3 months work there. And I was like so excited, all set up. Chef Andreas like sorted it out for me, and I just couldn't do it. But my back's getting better now. I'm seeing a therapist and stuff like that, so it's on the mend. But I just defo couldn't keep up with the boys at Simpsons anymore.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. Thomas Keller, French law. Oh,
is it a situation where if your back got well enough, you look to go back to it?
One day, yeah. Like sometimes I have good days where I'm like, oh, I want to be in that kitchen. Why am I not there? But then some days I'll make 2 cakes and be like, I'm gonna go and sit down now because I can't walk anymore. But yeah,
there was a couple of, you just touched on a couple of competitions that was on while you were at Simpsons. You were part of the England team.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't even say
I didn't even know there was like a culinary World Cup, but I feel like I'd like to watch it.
Yeah, it's actually insane. Yeah. So I went with a group of lads, and everyone had almost gone through UCB. So I was put through loads of cook-offs with people all over the UK to get into this team.
How many people were in the team?
There was 5 of us in the end. So I remember doing a cook-off with like 23, I think there was 23 of us in the kitchen at the start, and then got finalised for the final 5, and then we went to Luxembourg to do the culinary World Cup, and it was just insane. We were watching Norway and Sweden, and I was like pressed up against the gas like we were going the next day, and it just unreal. Never seen chefs work like it in my life. And I was looking at the boys being like, we're going tomorrow. We even like this. But we did all right, to be fair.
What did you have to do? Was it like MasterChef kind of tasks? Or?
One of the days it was a buffet. So you had to do all cold food. And then one of the days they give you a protein. You sorted out the garnish already. And then you rocked up on the day and they gave you the protein. And it was like, oh, off you go kind of thing. But everyone's watching you through the glass, and I remember guys from the UK that had come to support us, like a lot of the guys from the BCF were watching me and trying to hint to me what to do, but because there's judges walking around you, I was just like shaking. But it was such a good experience.
Was there a final then as well? Did you compete in a final or something?
Yeah. So that's what Luxembourg was. We went to go and compete.
Yeah. Oh, right, cool.
Cool. So we did that, and then we did Battle of the Dragons that was in Wales, and we won gold in that. So it was a good like head start for the World Cup. And I was due to do the Olympics, and then obviously everything happened with my back, so pulled out of everything.
There's an Olympics.
Yeah, the Culinary Olympics.
Culinary Olympics.
Who knew?
I didn't know there was so many competitions.
What does that involve?
But yeah, pretty much the same standard. It's just a little bit bigger. If you've heard of the Bocuse, it's almost like a minier version, a lot minier than the Bocuse. Like the Bocuse.
Is there an age limit on it? Was there? Or
you can't be in the junior team. I think it's over 24. So younger than 24, and then over, you go in the senior team.
Oh, right, cool. I was just thinking, so you wouldn't get like Gary Usher rocking up. I'm here for the World Cup.
Oh, shit. There must be people like making phone calls there. Oh, we've got this to cook today. What do you think we should do?
Yeah.
Luke, what do you think I should do with this lamb?
But yeah, no, it was good fun.
So when was it you left Simpsons? When was it? This year, last?
Yeah, it was this February.
February.
Yeah.
Bad timing.
Yeah.
Not really you couldn't really help it. So where did you go from Simpsons?
So then I went to go and work at Arch 13, Connolly's Wine Bar.
Yeah, great
so
bar.
I dipped into my wine qualifications. I'd done my level 1 WSET and my level 2, so knew a little bit about wine.
How did that come about?
So I did a competition called Nestlé Tutto when I was at college, and it was a bit of an apprenticeship kind of experience. So you wake up in the morning, you get a phone call to your room saying you need to be awake for 7 o'clock, and there'd be taxis outside. You'd be like, where are we going today? Like, they'd tell you if you need to be in chef whites, if you need to be in normal clothes, and that's all you'd get. So
Sounds terrifying.
Yeah, it was. So there was a group of 3 of us, and one day we rocked up to Le Cordon Bleu for a dinner party, and it was like, oh, you're cooking for 100 people today? And we were like, oh, what? The next, it was just... your team of 3 have to cook for a group of 8 people, your own menu. One of the days was the WSET 1 wine exam. And we got there, and I'd always had a love for wine, but started revising throughout the day, and then you got given the exam paper, and you could only get points for your team if you'd passed the wine exam kind of thing. So we got our papers back, and the 3 of us had passed. And then I was just like, I want to carry on and do level 2 because I just thought it was so interesting. So yeah, that's what landed me the job at Connolly's.
Sorry.
No, you go on.
Were you ever going to push it even further than level 2?
Yeah, so I'm at the moment revising for my level 3. It was supposed to be in March, but due to COVID, it's been pushed back. So.
All right.
Yeah.
You're going to keep going with it till you get to the top.
Yeah, I'd love to. If I could walk out in 5 years and be like, I'm a qualified sommelier, that would be awesome.
Be like Sonal and get sponsored by Crew.
Oh yeah, amazing. I want Sonal's life, to be honest.
Everybody wants Sonal's life. Yeah, I was just about to say, so Arch 13 was a lot, the hours were shorter, so it was a lot more sympathetic to your injury.
Yeah, and the girls there knew, and Abby knew, so if there was any lifting, or not to get me out of certain jobs, but I was just like, I can't do that. So they were really helpful, and it just made me keep revising, which was good.
Did you know Abby before? Or?
Yeah, we'd met, and we'd gone for dinner quite a few times together. But yeah, it was really good. But I definitely, when I was working there, I missed cooking and I missed food.
Yeah.
So I turned around to her and I was just like, I'm going to cure your meats for you and like make you copper and stuff like that. I'll make all your chutneys in house just to keep me in the loop with food. Which
Is that
nice.
something you'd done previously?
No.
No.
It was like, I can definitely do this. And then it was YouTube for about 3 weeks.
We were saying before the podcast started, what did we do without Google and YouTube?
I know.
Seriously, anything. It tells you everything, doesn't it?
It does.
Anything. This podcast, Google and YouTube. That's all it was.
So working at Arch 13, do you feel like you could have pushed on there and pushed what you're cooking through?
Yeah, 100%. And Abby was so keen to do it, and she was so excited. Like when I had ducks hanging or ducks curing or pork loins everywhere, brizola everywhere, she was so excited to be like, how'd you do this? Like, what'd you do? And it, like, the tasting days were just so good. But yeah, I definitely could have pushed on there, but just circumstances changed.
Yeah.
It's COVID, man.
COVID.
Fucked everything up, man.
It's hard not to mention it every episode, but it's like, what can you
I know.
do? You can't
it gets
just
referred
float
to,
over it,
this situation.
I know.
Well, the problem is, this is going to be forever now. Our entire lifetimes, this period of time will always come up.
Do you remember
Just
2020?
Like, I hope this is the worst thing that ever happens in our lifetime. Because, I mean, I could live with it if it was. That'd be great. But it's going to
bad
be
for some people.
It's been terrible,
It's been alright for us, but like some people
But
have
it's
had it.
going to be talked about forever.
100%.
It's always going to have affected some people in some way.
I feel like we've just lost 6 months. Like, I just don't know where it's gone. It's like, because I work outside a lot of the time, I hate winter, and especially when it's cold. And I always think, I've got to get to St. Patrick's Day. You get to St. Patrick's Day, the weather seems to change. The evenings get a little bit brighter, the mornings get a little bit brighter. But this year, like, I got to Paddy's Day, and that was it. Like, there was no work. Work had finished, like, by the 23rd, and it was like, and then I've gone back to work, and it's like coming up towards the end of summer.
Yeah.
Like, what's happened?
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Missed the best bit. Like.
Well, you say that some of us got busier when it came on.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm learning about my problems and not having work.
Didn't have no life for the whole of lockdown because they were just working solidly.
Homeschooling, it's not as easy as it looks, I'll tell you that. So how did you manage to keep busy during lockdown?
So through lockdown, I tried to kind of do a little bit of a blog. Never wrote a blog before in my life, but I was like, oh, we'll give it a go. It'll keep me busy. So every bottle of wine I drank, which was quite a lot, or everything that I cooked at home for my mum and dad, everything that we ordered as a takeaway, I kind of like wrote a bit about it, where to get it from, price and stuff like that. And then it was, I can't remember whose birthday it was, but I just made a Vicky sponge and sent it round. And then one of my followers just messaged me being like, oh, can you do cakes? Can you make my mum a cake? It's her 60th birthday. And I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? And just made her a cake on a whim. And that was about it. And then as soon as I posted a photo of this cake, I must have got about 10 direct messages being like, oh my God, are you doing cakes? Like, can you do cakes? And I was just like, oh, this is a lot. So I sat down with my dad and said, I really don't know what to do. And he's like, why don't you just go for it? And I was like, go for what? He was like, have your own business. And I don't know what happened, but it came about and I got it all set up. Working at Simpsons and various other places, I kind of knew what the gist was and how to get your kitchen at home turned into an actual kitchen that produces food for the public.
Yeah. Is that a big difference?
Yeah. EHU were really quite helpful, and they gave me lots of pointers and stuff like that, and my local authorities gave me loads. But going through all the motions, I started to be like, there's a lot here. Like, is it worth it? Is it going to take off? And it was a gamble that I actually started to really, really want. And I was like, I do want to work for myself, and I do want to start cooking again. Because as much as working with wine and being out the front as opposed to out the back was lovely, I just wanted to get back in the kitchen. So it was definitely a gamble that paid off in the end.
Was it just sweet things you started with, just cakes? And
yeah, so it was just cakes at the start, and then I thought the one place that me and my mum and my nan and my sister want to go when we want to catch up is for afternoon tea, and because no one could do that, I wanted to bring that to people's homes. So that was definitely one of the first things, as well as the cakes, I started to do. But coming from an Italian background, everything had like a bit of an Italian vibe to it.
Yeah.
Other than the afternoon teas, do you find that someone requests something,
Yeah.
you think, yeah, I'll do that?
Yeah.
And then that just snowballs into, well, everyone starts asking me to do that then,
Yeah.
and then they ask you for something else. Because your arancini is like quite popular as well, isn't it?
So the family, always when we go to Sicily, on the beach or on walks, we'll grab an arancini for lunch. And as soon as my family knew that I started making them, it was like, where's mine? Where's mine? Where's mine? I was like, I'm making them for customers, guys. But yeah, that I wrote a menu for that and uploaded it, and then that pretty much took off, and they've been quite popular, which is really good. And I think it's something that people don't do in Birmingham or the UK, that is not just a starter, that's not just a little bite in an Italian restaurant, rather than a lunch, like an actual massive arancini.
So yours quite big then?
Yeah, they're
I've seen the
huge.
pictures. It's hard to judge when they're just by themselves.
Yeah, like you can't really tell on a podcast, but they are the size of my hand. Like, huge.
Well, for anyone listening, that's a normal size hand.
Normal
so
size hand.
we're fine.
It's a big arancini, isn't it?
And I like piano hands or anything like that. Or shovels. They're normal hands.
I know a little bit about arancini, but I don't know a lot. And I've not tried them from a lot of places. Most people start with like somewhere rubbish, like Bella Italia or something, don't they?
Yeah.
Do you do different varieties of them, or?
Yeah, so when I went to Sicily, there's a place called Capali, which means what bull. And every time I went there's a queue so big and all the way down the road just to get an arancini, and their menu is the size of like 2 walls. Like, they do every flavour you could ever think of, and it's unreal, from savoury to sweet to Indian to Italian flavours, literally everything. So I kind of took their ideas and did 4 flavours, but in a cone shape. So a lot of places that you'd see arancini, they're always in the balls, but it's traditional in Sicily to be a cone.
So what were the 4 flavours?
So you've got leek and truffle, you've got tillagio, butternut squash and pesto, ragu, and ham and cheese.
What's the most popular?
The ragu.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's what I'm thinking. Oh yeah, I like that one.
I think I'd go for the ham and cheese or the truffle. Probably the truffle.
Truffle would be good.
Yeah, truffle would be good.
Siobhan don't dig truffle though. I don't know why. She ain't into it.
I think it is too strong. It's not my personal favourite.
Nah, a lot of people don't like it. I love it. I'm mad on it, like proper mad.
In Sicily, is it like a street food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's probably a van on every corner in Sicily selling them.
That's the sound of me booking a flight to Sicily.
Yeah. That must have been a temptation though, the street food scene being so strong in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Just to do an arancini street food.
Yeah. And I'd be lying if I said I haven't thought about it.
Yeah.
But it's just, would it take to Birmingham? Would people love it? Who
You
knows?
never know, do you?
You never
Some
know.
stuff that's there, you're like, how's that still around? And other stuff,
Yeah.
you're like, how did that not work?
Yeah.
Do you know
mad.
Naomi from Norwich?
Yes.
She used to do Digbeth dining, and she done arancini made from oats,
Amazing.
and it was really nice.
Yeah.
But she was quite busy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say there probably is a market for it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are looking for something different now, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, there's another burger. Oh, there's another chicken. Oh, we
Yeah.
see something different now. I think it does draw a lot of attention to
Yeah.
itself.
I think it's a great idea.
No,
I
neither
hope
do
nobody
I.
steals it. I feel like we should edit that out so somebody doesn't steal it on
If
you.
you're going to do it before this.
Yeah.
There seems to be like a common theme where you say yes and then you figure it out afterwards. Have you ever said no to anything?
No.
Apart from that.
Yeah, I think I always have said, and my dad's pretty much drilled this into my brain, is say yeah, figure it out later. And there is nothing that you cannot do or you cannot figure out how to do. It might not be the best. Like, my cakes are probably not the best in Birmingham, but they're pretty damn good. They might not look like, there's some cakes that I've seen that an artist would produce.
Yeah, but I think you're being
Yeah.
modest. Some of them cakes that look superb.
Thanks.
Yeah, if you go on the Instagram, they're absolutely beautiful looking.
Thank you.
It's nice to see someone doing a cake. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind theme cakes where it's
Mhm.
like Thomas the Tank Engine or
Yeah.
Peppa Pig or something. But yours is more like a classic, beautiful
Yeah.
sort of
Like, I
artist
just
type
don't
cake.
think you can beat a Vicky sponge. Like, I'd love to delve into the fondant and the modelling and the sugar paste and all that kind of work. But for me, flavour and taste comes before anything
Yeah.
else. So if your sponge is good, your filling is good, and it looks pretty decent, then I think you got a good
So is
cake.
that like your biggest seller?
Yeah.
What are
Yeah.
do you do a lot of other flavours, or people
Yeah.
literally just ask you for a flavour?
Yeah,
and you'll
so
do
I
it?
say, what flavours do you like? What do you want, pretty much, and we go from there. I mean, I've got 4 staple cakes that I do on a regular basis, and it's like, if someone just wants a cake for a Sunday or whatever, those are the 4 that they kind of pick from, and then the others, they'll just tell me whatever they want, really.
It's people always laugh when I say I'm not a massive fan of cake, and it's not that I don't like, but a lot of the time it's just birthday cake I don't like because I'm not a fan of icing.
Yeah.
And most cakes now just come with like inch thick of like icing, and
Yeah.
you're like, the cake might be alright, but I'm just not going to eat it because of the amount of icing on it. So it's quite nice to have something new and refreshing way of doing things.
Yeah.
I just seen, like we talked a bit before we recorded, you done a like a hot buffet the weekend.
Yeah, so I did a dinner party at the weekend, and it was just one of the followers from the Apposto page, and she just said, we really want Italian food, we don't want to go out because there is more than 6 of us, and we just want a good meal, a good chef. And it was for someone that was leaving their workplace, and she just thought she was coming around for a curry. So she like brings a box of beers, rocks it to the house, and then I'm there like fully kitted out in chef whites, and she was like, "What is going on?" But yeah, I did 5 courses for them, and they absolutely loved it, which is good.
You done a wine pairing?
Yeah, and they so they took to the wine pairing as well, which was good to get my my knowledge out a little bit as well.
So is that something people can also ask you to do as well? Is that something you're going to be going into?
Yeah, if I could get more dinner parties, I'd definitely do it, because as much as pastry has grown on me and I love making cakes, cooking hot food and being in a hot kitchen again is all I could really want, really.
Was there a part of you that, when things happened the way they did at Simpsons, were you back, and was there a part of you that thought maybe you wouldn't be doing that again?
Yeah, I almost, the amount of conversations I had with Tom, my other half, and my mum and dad, I was just like, I'm never going to see a kitchen again. And there were so many tears flying about, but I'm just glad that now I've dipped in and out of it, which is nice.
You're kind of doing it now on your own terms, which is really, it's like the dream, surely. For all chefs.
Is it fairly affordable then to have because a lot of people will be listening and go, there's no way I can afford to have a chef come in and cook a private meal for 6 of my friends.
Yeah, well, I charged for that dinner party 40 quid a head, which to me,
bargain.
You couldn't go to Nando's for that these days.
How many courses was that?
5.
5. Bargain. Absolute steal. Because you just see him, like, I naturally hear about it and I'm like, oh, it must cost like a few hundred quid.
Yeah.
Like 40 quid a head, that's fantastic.
Do you have a minimum amount of people?
No. Table for 1, guys.
They always come as a pair. So we've kind of nearly done a Craig Treadwell again, and we haven't spoke about the name.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'd have happily gone on, ended later on in the podcast. Not know he's got home and be like, oh shit, we did it again.
As much as I really want to embarrass Carl and ask Carl to pronounce it, because
I can do it.
Yeah, go on.
Go for
I
it.
believe in you.
Tutto, Apposto.
There we go.
That's not that bad.
Just for comparison,
It's Tutto Apposto.
That sounds similar. I'm happy with that.
where did the name come from?
So, being Italian, I wanted to take my other half to Italy. So we went for a holiday, and I was speaking Italian in bars and stuff like that, getting the drinks, and then I tried to teach him a little bit of Italian, and it just wasn't going well. Bless him. Sorry. And the only phrase that he picked up on was "Tutto a posto." So it's like when you walk into a bar, when you greet people, and it just means everything okay, everything fine, or like everything's good. The Italian version of sound, I reckon.
Yeah.
So when we came back to Birmingham, all my family were over my house and all speaking Italian, and I think Tom looked a little bit lost. And I was just like, no, go on, you use your phrase. And he asked my nan if she was all right, Tutto Apposto, and it pretty much just came from then.
How cruel of you to do that.
I know, I know.
Poor Tom.
Sitting there thinking about it all morning. I'm going to have to say this word tonight.
Yeah, so it came out as a quite a fitting name in the end then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're with cake, you're pretty all right.
That should be your tagline, I think. I think if you got a cake, you're all right.
So is there anything else coming up with this that you're moving it in different directions that we haven't touched on?
So I've been asked for a couple of menus to look at catering someone's wedding, which is really exciting.
Anything with wedding, that's money spinner, that's the money central. Yeah. As soon as you put wedding or baby next to
just add a
anything you
zero.
got to pay, easy. One. You can add a couple.
So that's good. Doing my first wedding cake as well in a couple of weeks, which is quite nerve-wracking, but good. But yeah, we'll see where it goes.
It's awesome. It's nice to just see someone doing so well. Like I think people need to hear these stories at the minute. Because so many people are just down in the dump thing. And there might be someone listening who thinks, well, I've always fancied cooking for myself, and I've always had my job taking up all of my time, so I'm going to give it a go now that I'm on furlough. Or,
yeah.
You know. So I think it's important that people hear these stories. Where's the best place people can get hold of you? Or how does somebody go about ordering?
Either Instagram or Facebook. In the process of getting a website at the moment, but Instagram and Facebook is.
Can you still order through Simpsons as well?
Yeah, so Simpsons at Home is still going on. So definitely, if you wanted one of the 4 normal cakes, you can go through Simpsons and get that delivered with your tasty food too.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm sold.
It's Carl's little piece and he loves it. But
Okay.
It's
I do
Carl
love it.
questions everything.
Okay.
Just some general questions.
Just
like,
really easy.
not really even food
simple.
related.
Yeah, just first thing that comes to your head. You're going to know the answer to them, so there's no hard question.
Okay.
What's your favourite movie?
Good Will Hunting.
Oh, no one said that yet, have they? That's a good film. Your favourite band or DJ or whatever?
Oh God.
I wish this was videos. People could
If
see.
you can see my facial expressions
And
right
it looks like
now.
I just said, what the fuck's music?
Can I say a person?
You can say whatever
Because
you
I
like.
really dig Lady Gaga.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. What's your favourite cookbook?
Ooh. Thomas Keller's or 11 Madison Park.
Oh, nice. What's your favourite spirit?
Say Frangelico. That's a liqueur, isn't it?
It's a spirit.
Yeah, that'll do.
That'll do. What's your favourite bottle of wine?
Ooh.
Bear in mind, I'm going to take a note of this and be buying it, so it better be good.
Okay. There is an Italian wholesalers by me, and they sell the best bottle of Montepulciano, and it's like £3 a bottle for a litre, and it's
What?
banging.
Jesus, that sounds like one hell of a day. What's your favourite takeaway?
Chinese.
Chinese. What's your favourite big fast food chain?
Five Guys.
Yes. Yes. I've got a tick. Someone's finally given me one of my answers. Oh, that's your answer? No, mine was KFC, sorry. Five Guys was a close second, though. What sort of food do you cook at home?
Pasta.
Just normal. Do you have a favourite bar or pub in Birmingham?
Well, now that we're here,
I knew you were going to say that.
Now we're here.
I was
It's
gonna-
gotta be.
I'm going to shout them out. Roberto's bar is
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
quite
yeah.
cool, and it might
I've-
become my new favourite.
Oh, I've
It's
got to admit,
Italian.
and it's one of ours, yeah.
Yeah,
It's right up there. It's a great place.
He's from Milan, so it gets double ticks.
Music as well. The music's class.
Yeah.
If you're only going for a quick bite in Birmingham, where are you going?
Otto's.
Nice.
The best pizza in Birmingham, I must say.
That's my questions.
Lovely.
That's us. Thank you again for coming on. We
No,
really do
thank
Thank you
you.
very
appreciate
much. Brilliant.
Cheers, guys.
it. Awesome. Hey everyone, massive thank you for listening. We absolutely love making these episodes and bringing you the story of some of the best people in the food industry in Birmingham. As we said before, we love Birmingham and its food scene, and we think it's truly special. So if you agree, do us one big favour. All you have to do is rate and review us on iTunes. It really helps promote the podcast and gets us listened to by more people, and gets more people to listen to how great Birmingham is, and we would really appreciate it if you could do that for us. Until next time, thanks again for listening.